we are going to be talking about body positioning at your instrument. And this is an exercise I actually just did with my students down at WestCon. And it was a little bit, we went into a lot of detail over some anatomy and physiology and that kind of stuff, just because that's one thing that we have to kind of go over. It's important. I have found that through the years that the more my patients understand how the body works and what muscles are working, they have a much better ability to adapt things and understand things when they're playing. So I think it's really important to empower yourself with some knowledge. Obviously, you don't need to go into the chaos that we need to go into as therapists and learn all the ins and outs of it. But I think to have some basic understanding is really important. So the challenge that we're going to do is we're going to go over body positions and how certain joints move in the upper extremity and a little bit in the trunk and the hip, about how they move, what positions make them happy, what positions make them cranky, what positions set them up for injury in the future. So hi Lisa, how are you? So it's all about being proactive and really empowering yourself to understand how the body works so that you can set yourself up at the instrument as positively as possible so that you can avoid injuries. Because unfortunately, 80 to 90% of musicians end up with some kind of injury at some point in time throughout their career. And you may be fine right now, which is awesome, but the key is to set yourself up so that you can hopefully prevent things in the future. Because I didn't have symptoms for a really, really long time. I didn't have symptoms at all until bam, I got slammed and I got taken down. So, and if I had known all the things that I knew then about body posturing and positioning and what position is best, then I would have avoided half of my problems, all of my problems, really. So that I think is really, really important. So the challenge is going to be, we're going to have a 5-day challenge. We're not going to do it 5 days in a row because I personally have found 5-day challenges that are back to back to back to back to back gets a little overwhelming for me and trying to keep up. So I'm going to spread it out a little bit. So the first day we're going to do tomorrow, and that's going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to post this. I'll type this all out so you guys have it and can just see it easily. And then Tuesday the 15th is going to be at noon as well. And the reason there's a week in between is because there's going to be some homework for you guys to do as well. And then Friday the 18th is going to be at 9 a.m. And then Monday the 21st is going to be at noon. And then Thursday, the 24th is going to be at noon. So I'm going to try and throw some PDFs up too of the information that we kind of cover. And I'm going to have you guys do, by the end, be able to kind of hopefully self-assess what position you are at your instrument. Because there are definite positions that are more troublesome than others. Like I said, our joints have certain spots that they like to be in. Our instruments tend to make us contort ourselves. So we have to know what position we can ideally put our joints in so that they're as happy as they can be, move in and out of those cranky positions that we have to go into while we play an instrument, and then come out of them so that we get happy again, and then do things that take us out of the position completely when we're all said and done. So that's going to kind of be what I'm going to cover. So the first day we're going to kind of talk more about positions of the neck and the shoulder, which is going to go over a lot of stuff like that, and super important for really actually every instrument. But I always think of violin and viola with the neck, okay, because that's a crucial one. I can't tell you how many violinists and violists that have such a hard time looking to the right because they're always to the left. So we're going to talk about kinds of things like that. Shoulder issues is a big one, and there are certain positions that the shoulder does not like. That sets you up for impingement and that kind of thing. And then the second day, we're going to talk about the elbow and the forearm, kind of talk about what positions typically are happy positions there and what positions are cranky positions that may lead you to risk injuring certain structures in your body. And then day 3, we're going to go over the wrist and the hand. The hand is incredibly intricate, and especially the thumb at instruments is really, really crucial. And then we're going to talk about tension and distance from the keys and the strings and the force that needs to be used in order to get down to our strings or our keys if you're too far away. And day 4, we're going to talk about trunk and the hips, and then some other things we're going to throw in there. And then by the end of all this, I want you guys to be able to kind of do a self-assessment of what position are you at your instrument when you're just getting ready to play. Because once we start playing, it's a whole nother ball game. But it's important to have a basic understanding of where you're starting, and just have that self-awareness of, okay, what am I doing? And as soon as we start to be aware of what we're doing, we can then tweak things on our own. And then it's also important, once we start playing, we move into, we lose track of some of that because we're really focusing on the music. But sometimes there's little subtle things that we just have to tweak a little bit, that we're not even aware of. I can't tell you how many patients that we just tweak one little way that they're positioned at their instrument, and it makes all the difference in the world, and their symptoms go. So it's so important. And again, it's one of my favorite things to do when I work with musicians, because there's just little things that you have to do to make somebody better at their instrument and have less pain and prevent things moving forward. Lisa, what instrument do you play? If you're still watching, I see that you're watching now. So I'm just curious. I know there's a delay with this. So I'm going to try and talk about as many instruments as I possibly can as we go through the body parts, and as we talk about the different positioning. So I'll try to cover as many as I can remember, but if you guys are watching and have questions, just holler, and we can certainly talk about those as well. And it's important too, like I just had a patient who hasn't had any issues. She's, in her 50s, and now she's having some issues. So again, it's one of those things that's important to be set up as perfectly as you can be for your body, because everybody's body is different. So your body is different from your teacher's body. Your fingers may be longer, your neck may be longer, your arms may be longer or shorter. You might have more muscle bulk, less muscle bulk. So it's really important to fit your personal body to your instrument in such a way that the body likes, and in such a way that our instrument really needs. So that's the plan. That's all the information. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. Let me know.